Hey, everybody, this is Flip the Switch. I am Marla Schultz. I am so thrilled to have this amazing, gorgeous, beyond talented comedian. She's an actress, she's a comedian, she's a writer. She's got a new show out called Social Media Meltdown. She is on her way, if not, has become the greatest gay icon in addition to Barbara Streisand. Shawn Pelofsky, I love you. Thank you for coming on.
Marla, thank you for having me. What a great introduction. I wish half of that really pertained to me, but God bless you.
Are you kidding me? You're stunning. You are an ageless treasure to all that know you.
You know, I have the beauty filter on right now. So God, you just made my day, because I feel like I had to cancel my Botox meeting this week. So it's just like, I feel like my face, it's falling.
It's not falling, Shawn. It's fabulous. It's up. Look, I'm dealing with the mirror, with the light, because I had to talk like this because I'm getting the elephant vagina that's like, so you walk around like this. Hi, how are you?
Literally.
I tried the threads, everything.
I feel like I was like, as I was getting ready today, I'm like, we have been in this lockdown for so long. And there was a part of me that was like, well, what did John Merrick, the Elephant Man, wear when he made a public? I wanted just to be sitting there like, I am not an animal. I am a human. That's just how I feel in this whole fucking year. But here we are.
Here we are. And by the way, you're Barbara Streisand by far. When I first saw that, I think it was at the Improv, or actually, no, I met you doing Lisa's show. We were like one of the originals.
Pretty Funny Women. Uh-huh.
Pretty Funny Women. Lisa Sunstead, the Madam of Comedy. That was a great time.
She's made a lot of great female comics came out of that show.
Absolutely.
I'm still waiting.
So am I.
To make it at 80.
Right. When are they going to finally create a pilot for Pretty Funny Women? Oh.
It happened. I'm 95. Take that, Hollywood.
Yes. You know what? We don't give a shit what you think of us, because we're stars in our own minds. As we're playing canasta in the over 65.
Okay, that's the most Jewish thing you've ever said. So I just want to put that on record as we're playing canasta.
Okay, every time I see you, what do you say to me?
Give me back my fucking dollar, which is my favorite. Have always been really one of the funniest people that I know. But when you talk about giving, I think it was like a homeless person had asked you for money, and then you gave them $1, and then they returned by saying, you look a lot like Rosie O'Donnell. Right. And then my favorite line, my favorite joke is when you go, give me back my fucking dollar. Right. And I walk around my house sometimes saying that. So
listen, it's a 20, how long has it been? 20 years, 25 years? I was heavier. And when I first moved out to Los Angeles, my girlfriend was a model, one of my girlfriends. And she goes, you got to go to this guy. He was written up in Vogue, this hairdresser. Yeah. And he goes, he'll give you a great haircut. So right before I go, he shreds my hair. Like when I had that pixie cut, this Damien.
Like Twiggy,
but it was almost like Carney Wilson.
Twiggy meets Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah. And I show up at my manager's office and he's like, what the fuck did you do to your hair? I mean, I look like Carney Wilson when they all came out. And then I look like Rosie O'Donnell because I just was so stressed out. I, was driving and pigging out, and bang, here we are. But enough about me.
Hey, I mean, I listen, somebody saw Rosie O'Donnell as being funny. So that's just what they assimilated. Dark hair, funny, white lady. It's like you could get that. It's like I get Barbara Streisand all the time. And I
do the profile.
Honestly, I never really loved it. And again, I didn't always as a kid, I didn't look like her. But when, I broke my nose,
you did this, the Yentl pose.
Yeah. When I broke my nose, the third time, people stopped me. But the thing is I'm not even the biggest Streisand fan. People give me Streisand paraphernalia all day long. You think that was my idol. But really, I'm just waiting for her to die tragically in a boating accident so I can play her in the biography movie. It could just be like, because it happened for J-Lo. Remember when J-Lo played Selena?
Yes.
Boom. Here came her career. She was a dancer on In Living Color. And so here I sit just patiently in the wings going, come on, Babs, time to go. And it's not happening. You know that bitch is going to live to like 99. Meanwhile, it's like I'm waiting. I know that's my moment. I know they're gonna that calls will come in. I'm waiting. It's like gonna be between me and Leah Michelle from Glee. And it's this. I know I can't sing, but I can do her. I can play her in her middle years.
I think so, but give us the famous line that you would do that just made me pee in my pants every time I saw it.
Is it okay? Well, is it Mr. Ziegfeld? Mr. Ziegfeld, I'm a bagel on a plate of onion rolls. Sidey, married lady. Mm-hmm.
It was that
you hear
one.
That, casting directors.
The other one, Papa.
Papa, can you hear me, people? Oh, I can't sing. You don't even want to hear me try and carry a tune.
I saw that. I'm a huge Barbra Streisand fan, and I was like, I love her. But then I want to know, what made you want to be a comedian?
My family was always funny. I mean, I grew up in Oklahoma, and I had this.
I thought it was Kansas.
Yeah. Well, like I said, same shithole. But I grew up in Oklahoma. My parents were Brooklyn based. My dad had formed a neurosurgery clinic, had gone to med school there, and then formed his own neurosurgery clinic there. And it was, growing up Jewish, loud, funny family. Everyone was funny in my family. My mom, my dad, my sisters, my brother, everyone had a sense of humor. And I always thought I wanted to be a neurosurgeon like my dad. I wanted to follow in the footsteps like a good Jewish kid should. You become a doctor. And instead, I remember in second grade, I played the Wicked Witch of the West in The Wizard of Oz.
Do you remember a line?
I'm melting. But I was so excited. And I guess like my excitement got the best of me. And I melted before Dorothy threw the water on me. Hilarious. And the audience really laughed. And I remember hearing the sound of that, and I was like, that's it. Like, I love that sound. So I kind of followed the lead in that. I didn't know I wanted to be a stand-up comedian. I really wanted to do SNL. I always was interested in characters, impressions. So I started to do those kind of at a young age. And through high school and junior high, and then I joined Groundlings when I was in college.
You came out to LA early, right?
Yeah.
Was that a huge transition to go from Oklahoma to Los Angeles?
Yeah, it was a big transition. And I went to USC. My sister was going there at the time. So, it's like I knew people there, but it still was so different. I mean, I traveled in my lifetime, and I'd been to New York City a lot as a kid. So California wasn't so overwhelming, but it was just great to go to school there. And I went there in the School of Theater, and I took Groundlings, and I studied improv and sketch.
And you studied with some really big names, right?
Yeah. I was in Groundlings with Will Ferrell when he was a bank teller.
Oh, wow.
Like people that were phenomenal. I mean, the mentors that I had. I mean, I was in sketch comedy with Alex Borstein, who's now on The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. There's so many people that just came through that were, you kind of just knew when you put your eyes on them, you're like, those people are going to soar. So I fell into stand-up comedy really after college. I took a stand-up class and really didn't do much with it, and still stayed in part of ACME Comedy Theater and pursued that. And just within some time, I would do stand-up like once a year and call myself a stand-up. And when sketch really wasn't, we were having hard times getting audiences in and stuff, I was like, I need a better showcase for myself. So I just started doing more stand-up, and that's really where things took off.
And when did you meet Lisa?
God, I don't even have that answer. like, it seems like maybe 125 years ago.
I think so.
But
For me, it was
20.
1998 because that's when I first started going out to LA. And that's where I feel like I met you guys.
I mean, it's like not till really like 98 did I start to really do comedy I would consider myself a comedian, really. So maybe it was like 98. I mean, I was merely like, what, 7 years old. So I don't remember that much, but that sounds about right.
Yeah, because she started, I think, in 1997. We had the same manager. And he said, when you come out to LA, try and get on one of her shows. And
Yeah.
we hit it off. And it's nice to be part of such a illustrious group of phenomenal female comedians and to be part of that. And it kind of freaks me out that it was so fucking long ago. But what are you going to do?
Yeah. Well, this year was long ago. So who knows? Like, time schmine. There's nothing a good filler can't do. A nice facelift. Stay with it. As long as you're mentally, I still feel like I'm 16 years old mentally. I don't care what anyone says. I think like that. And I think that's, young mentality. You're going to keep on going and keep on pushing through.
Absolutely. And do you use, listen, you lost a parent, I lost a parent. How has your skills as a comedian helped you cope with tragedy, with the world blowing up, being in your apartment, your house for over a year? Like, how have your comedy chops, how has that helped you?
Well, first and foremost, a good gallon of ice cream has helped me through this time.
Girl!
And more than once. But comedy has really, I think personally, and I've always been this way, whenever there's any type of dire situation, I always am looking for how to cheer somebody up.
Yeah.
And looking for that one moment where I just don't want to go to the darkest place. I've never been the most serious person. My husband can attest to that. He's always like, you always have a joke. You're like a clown. I live with a clown. And I know I make him sound like an invalid, but he is actually, that's my terrible Brazilian accent. And he, always says that I'm always like, going for the joke. But I just feel like whenever anything is going on around me, sometimes I'm uncomfortable, especially if there's a fight or something going on. I'm always looking for like kind of how to be Switzerland, how to like smooth over the problem. If I've got customer service that isn't friendly, or you're dealing with someone, I'm going for like, how can I diffuse this? So I've always kind of done things with humor.
Yep.
And it really has helped me in a time where the world feels like everything is falling apart. I've always kept my sense of humor. And I think that like for being locked down, especially with your significant other, and where some couples are just going completely south.
Get a small, cute dog.
Yeah. It's like I feel helps keep us together. And I think that's one of the things that attracted my beautiful husband to me, was the fact that I had a sense of humor, and I keep it no matter where I go. Maybe it's not always appropriate, but I don't care. I always feel like it's the best answer for everything.
Absolutely. And listen, you're a very good friend. When you heard about my mom, you heard about my dad, you heard about me getting COVID, you pick up your phone, which I am so old school because I hate when somebody sends a text, hey, how are you?
Same way, Marla.
Yeah. It meant the world to me. And it just speaks volumes of who you are, your character, not because you called me, but just who you are. What do you do to take care of yourself?
That's a good question. I mean, sometimes I like meditate. I talk with friends a lot. Like I talk with people, and I like to shop, and I get outside.
Yeah.
And I think where I'm at, like my most calm and my best, is watching bad reality TV. And that makes me feel better about myself, because at least I'm not those people. And
you got me into the 90-day fiance.
Unbelievable.
It's astonishing. Like the woman who went to Nigeria, Big Ange.
Well, there's more than one, by the way.
Really?
You've got to be like, it's usually some Southern big, fat, loudmouth, trashy white woman. And they are like falling for every time. This is like they're going over, and the guy's like, 60 years younger than them. They're like, he loves me, and they've got a cigarette hanging out of their mouth, their phone in their tits. The guy is he's a rapper in Nigeria.
Right.
Like, oh yeah. And I'm sure he doesn't, and listen, and I'm not saying like every person who's on that show, it needs a green card. And I hate that type of mentality, because that's what people thought when I met my husband. My whole family thought it. And they're like, he wants a green card. And like, it's such a load of shit. People do actually really fall in love. But as popular as that show is, I feel like people are doing that for that fame and not necessarily for the green card. Yeah, the USA is a fucking bonus. But if they can like move onto that show, that's it. That's money. That's money in the bank with a cameo. It's a whole that it's like a money factory. 90 Day Fiance. It has blown up. So I really don't believe a lot of these people are really staying with their person because they're in love. It's just they can get on this show and make it happen.
I think the best one, it was like Fertit or some guy. He was Turkish. He didn't speak English.
Oh, and then the Beekeepers.
Yes, and then he hooked up with the chicken.
Another beekeeper.
Was it? It was the Beekeepers.
Yes.
Okay, that was nuts.
They were both like 4'2". She lived in shithole Georgia. They always live in a shit or somewhere Ohio, Shitsville. The formula. Someone lives in Shitsville, United States, and then they meet somebody in crazy town, across the world, and then these people come together, and that's the beauty of the internet. Right. You could find love that way. And those two really loved each other. I don't think he was coming. He was Turkish. He didn't want to leave his family. He loved his family, and they were a religious Muslim family. And he fell in love with her. And even though he couldn't speak the language, he got her. He loved her. He wanted to love her kids. He was trying. Yes, he could have spoke English better, and you may want to learn English before you come to move to the
Yes, you think. Now, I mean, was it like this? Tell her,
your Muslim parents want me to marry you. And he's like, yeah, I know. And you got to love that app helps some of these people communicate. And listen, I can attest. My husband's Brazilian. Do I speak full on Portuguese? No. Did I try a little bit to learn Portuguese? Like I took a class. I was terrible at it. I skipped out on some classes because I had some gigs to do. They wouldn't let me make it up. So I gave up. My mother-in-law does not speak a load of it. She doesn't speak 1 ounce of English. And so when I go to Brazil, I have a hard time communicating. And when I think I can communicate at all, I get nervous. It comes out as verbal diarrhea. And there's some few key words and sentences I can say to have a little conversation with people, but I'm still not good at it. And
have you tried one of those apps? Better? Babbel and this.
Yes, I did Duolingo a little bit. I think I bought Rosetta Stone for a second. I got so busy. I didn't commit to it wholeheartedly. And every time we're going on a trip to Brazil, I start looking at those apps. My husband's like, you're not going to learn Portuguese a week before you leave. And so he gets mad at me, but it's something that if I knew I was moving to Brazil, I'd learn that language. You better believe I would know how to talk. You can't get around. You can't do if you don't follow. And it's not an easy language to learn. Right. It's not. And I'm sure Turkish isn't easy to learn. And for a Turkish person, English wasn't easy.
I know a little bit of Spanish. That's about it. But I can understand it. And it's just, I wish I paid attention and not been such a pothead and wanting to cut out all the time. So you traveled to Brazil. Is it a phenomenal country?
It is. I love it. Every time we go there to visit his family, I'm always amazed where he lives. And he lives in a bigger city. It's not like Sao Paulo, but it is a big city in his state. Still very third world, everything about it. You don't see a Starbucks there. You don't see, their Kinko's is
Sephora.
like,
You don't see Sephora.
there's no door on it. Like you're waiting outside in a line. There's no Sephora. No.
Okay.
There's one McDonald's there in a mall, but you don't see any chain. You don't see anything like that. And it's real culture, and I embrace it. And then we try and go when we do like a 2-week visit. We always find a different sunny beach place in Brazil.
Nice.
And we make a point to make a trip to go away 4 weeks somewhere different, to a different beach town, to a different area, to explore it. Places he's never even been. I've never not loved it.
How about the Amazon? Have you gone looking for pygmies?
No, we have not head over to the Amazon, but do you think you're going to find this Jewish girl in the Amazon? Fuck no. Do you know
like those piranhas?
Animals? Yeah, no, animals and things are ready in Brazil. Even when you don't go to the Amazon, anytime we go to some beautiful beach town or something, I can't make this up. Something alien flies out of the sky that's like this big and flies towards my face. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? I'm pretty sure like super bees, things fly at me. I'm down the beach and you can just see all the Brazilians like gringa, like they see me running for my life. I cannot even tell you. So if you think I'm going to head to the Amazon where real killer creatures fly out my face, no way.
I saw anaconda and then piranha, and I was like, forget it.
No, it's true. It's true. Even in their backyards. Like we were at his brother's for a barbecue for his new house in his hometown. And suddenly, once again, something big and black flies towards my face this big. I'm screaming. It's nighttime. What is flying at me? It was a beetle this big. And they all grabbed it, held it, picked it up, coddled it. I was like, why are we touching anything like this? They all found it amusing, but Brazilians are afraid of nothing. Like I remember when my husband first moved in with me and there was a spider in my bathroom and I was screaming and he literally grabbed it with his fingers. Like I was like, what are you, an animal? Like who does that? Yeah. He's like, what? It's just a spider to put up. I'm like, what?
Oh my God, that's the opposite of my husband. In New York City, our building is pristine. And one night, pristine, I'm sleeping and I feel this thing and it was like this flying thing and it takes off. And Mark was like, kill it. I was like, what? Whoa. And I was like, I beat the shit out of this thing. He's like, did you kill it?
That's me.
No, I'm the killer when it comes. Like, boom, boom, boom.
But you're a Taurus, of course. You're going to take charge, baby.
Hey, listen, I was bullied. I'm a comic and I'm a Taurus. I'll kill anything.
Yeah. You got to write that down. I was bullied. I'm a comic and I'm a Taurus. The Taurus is the joke.
Yes.
I'll kill anything.
No, that is a funny joke. Oh, you're all over the place. You were queen of the sea.
You mean in my house?
Were you working on a cruise when COVID happened?
I stopped working for the cruises probably like 2 years ago. I've been producing on a TV game show. So
tell us about this show.
The show's called Funny You Should Ask. It's a Byron Allen conglomerate game show machine. It's kind of like Hollywood Squares, but with a panel of 6 comedians. So I ran a team of writers and I myself, and we'd write the trivia, and then the trivia has one-liner jokes that the comedians look like they came up with, but they didn't. And it was a lot of fun doing that show.
Is it still on the air?
Yeah, it's syndicated. So I don't know where it is in everybody's town, but like here in LA, it was like KCAL 9 at like 5:00 or before Wheel of Fortune, and it's on like comedy.net TV. And on Byron Allen, he owns like 95 stations. So I can't tell you, I sometimes I call the show Funny You Can't Find Us because people will be like, where is it? Where can I see it? And I'm like, I don't know, but it's there. It's all over. If you have regular cable, you'll see it advertised all over. But
it's like Comics Unleashed here in New York. It's like 1:40 a.m. and somebody will write to me and be like, oh my God, I saw you on Comics Unleashed. And I was like, thanks, Bernie Pauly. I'm getting $25 a show.
Yeah. I mean, got to go for that big syndication money.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Well, I'm glad that that's working out. About your latest incarnation, which I am flattered you asked me
Well,
to be
you were
part of.
hilarious on it. I wish you lived here to do the live shows, Marla.
Oh.
It started 2 years ago, and it was a live show that would run at the Comedy Store once a month.
What's the
And
name of the show?
it's called Social Media Meltdowns. It started off, the show was called Facebook Rants, but then I changed the name so I could trademark the show. And it was right before COVID that I trademarked the name. And it's Social Media Meltdowns. And it really is a show that encompasses all types of social media. And I get comedians and variety artists who find real, actual social media posts from Facebook or Nextdoor, or they find Yelp reviews or comments from YouTubes about somebody or something or themselves. And they bring it to stage and they perform it however they like. They bring whatever this post or review is to life. And they can, some people, perform it as the character they think wrote it, like you did, which was hilarious for our online version show that we have on YouTube. It's on a YouTube channel called Social Media Meltdowns YouTube channel. And you did, for our Instagram, you did an online version of a Yelp review of a mall in Queens. Like who has this time to write a fucking review about a mall? But this lady did, or this person did, and you did it as like this queen, this personality from Queens, and just the way that you reacted of the stuff that she was saying. And then you acted like you were that person being bothered in the middle of delivering your review. And it's just, some people sing, put stuff to music.
They're funny. They're funny.
Do it as just themselves and make commentary. And it's some people use puppets, but however you want to perform each post or comment or review. And there's all types of social media. I mean, my friend Kimberly Lewis, she sang a song with Venmo payments, like
hilarious,
to my favorite things. These are, and it was genius. So this was this live show where we'd bring in a lot of great comics and drag queens, all types of people, just personalities. And it was super hot. And then we had to kind of close it down, then put it online with our YouTube channel. And then when things started to kind of calm down a little bit with the quarantine, we would do a live stream from the Comedy Store with just the performers, no live audience. And one by one, they'd go on stage, and we had like a special Halloween show. And it was so different. It's very nerve-wracking to run something like that, because you just, technology-wise, you don't know if shit's going to go down or what's going to work. And with the Comedy Store itself and how the building's haunted, you just don't know how things are going to happen. But it was exciting to kind of do it that way. And now everything's back on lockdown. So I'm just waiting to get back so we can do it right, where people just embraced it.
Have you, are you doing a lot of Zoom stand-up shows?
I've done a few here and there. I'm not doing them constantly. Where I am doing it is for corporations or private parties or hired during the holidays, especially birthdays. People need to boost morale for a company. I've done all types of things I've been asked to do. And not, and sometimes it's not just with stand-up, it's hosting game shows, stuff, and whatever I'm asked to do, I try and do it. And money exchanges hands. So I'm okay with that. If someone does ask me to do their Zoom show, I say yes.
Right.
I'm not a cocksucker about it, but am I doing
weird.
Them all the time?
No, it's weird. I did some late night, I did a Zoom show, and you just have to plow through your material and just rely on your chops and know, okay, I know this joke is funny. This joke is funny. This joke is funny. But then when they have the mics open and it's not the gallery view, but the speaker view, and you see like, then it focuses in on the person sleeping, and then it's nuts. It's nuts.
I always like to talk. I do talk to people sometimes. It's hard when you're hosting a party and you're hosting something and you're doing jokes and you're running a game show. I have a hard time. Sorry, the buzzing in the back. That's my new all-in-one washer and dryer. I don't mean to brag, but it's all working out. It's hard to run with like Zoom technology wise, trying to be funny and roasting. It's not like doing it live, but you just kind of go with the punches.
Well, that's why I taped this show, because the first time I did it, I was like this, and my nephew was like, I saw up your nostril for 20 minutes. Like I just couldn't get it. And the stress, and then it just, so I tape these and then edit, and it's all so good. Shawnica, I love you with all my heart.
I love you, Marla Schultz. Give me back my fucking dollar.
Papa, can you hear me? So what's next for you?
Well, there's so much, Marla. Let me just recite my long list of projects that are happening. You know, I just can't stop getting calls. Hold on. Is that my phone ringing? No.
Take a message, please.
What's next is, staying safe, staying positive, seeing this administration change over hands, and getting back to business. I've never stopped. I haven't stopped during this lockdown, hustling or doing or being. It has given me a moment to take a break and eat a few hundred things. But as far as projects go, it's still just always just put my best foot forward and getting booked and writing jokes. And, I hope to be working back on the game show and selling my show and booking things and doing and being.
Absolutely. And tell us about your 1 hour special, Stretch It Out, which is hilarious. And I can never get tired of watching it.
Marla. Well, I do. And it's called Stretch It Out. It's on Amazon. So if you have Amazon Prime Video, you can watch it for free. Fun special. I shot it. I mean, it debuted like 2 years ago. So it feels like forever since I last did that. And everyone's like, when are you going to do another one? I'm like, well, when are you going to pay for it? Because that cost. So I don't know if everyone thinks I'm just Bobo Rockefeller and I'm sitting in my house like, I guess I should just make another special. It definitely was just this love project, and it's done, and it was fun to do, and you learn from the process, and like we're all learning now.
Right. When did you feel that you stepped into your power as a stand-up? Like how many years into it were you like, I got this?
10.
Yeah.
10 years in. 10 years in. 2000s somewhere. I can't remember the exact date, but when I kind of quit a day job and just went full force into comedy and trusted that. And then I started working for the all gay male cruises and just developing a following. When I kind of put my head in it to say I know I needed a following and I was going to create that. And how was I going to create that following? And when I looked around and noticed that everybody around me was a gay man, I was like, well, all my idols have done it. The Joan Rivers, the Bette Midlers, the Margaret Cho's. And I was like, this is what I need to be doing.
That's very, very smart, because I guess that's when you flip the switch. Bang, bang, bang. That's what that's about. So Shawn, where can everybody tune in and find you and follow you and your brilliance?
Well, they can follow me at Shawn Pelofsky. It just rolls off your tongue on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and TikTok, whatever social medium there is, social media there is, you can follow me on that. And Social Media Meltdowns also has its own handle on Instagram where you can see Marla at Social Media Meltdowns. We have a YouTube channel, and or I have a website too, hahachick.com, HAHACHICK.com.
Shawn Pelofsky, the lovely, talented,
I
brilliant,
love you, Marla,
and stunningly gorgeous. You are. Thank you so much for being on Flip the Switch.
Thank you for having me. Give me back my fucking dollar.
Mwah. Mwah.